Evening, freaks. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip, and we're diving back into that great black conjunction reading series, and we're going to dive into Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, or packed second house, okay? So we're looking at 3 or more planets located in that second house of Taurus, a stellium, or a really strong placement, in that particular house, will definitely have you probably feeling some resonance with these messages. So take what applies to you, toss aside the rest. This is a collective reading, okay? So we're looking at a lot of different energies in the mix. I bring through the stories that want to come through. Not every story is for you, but it is for someone, okay? So be open and let those who have a message come through receive that message, all right? Also, engage your intuition, because that's the most important thing. Your intuition will guide you to how the messages are speaking to you. And the best way to receive a collective reading is really to look at the overarching themes that are coming through in the messages, and you'll understand how they best fit for your life. I also just let the message come through as it comes through. So you can flip-flop genders if you need to. And cross-watch your energy definitely comes in. So sometimes you're hearing the perspective of the person you're dealing with, right? So just use this as a tool for kind of turning things around, okay? We got the Magician on the bottom of the deck here, all right? And it's interesting because in your pre-shuffle Taurus, we saw that there was some kind of action you were prepared to take after a time of sort of pulling your energy back and weighing something out. I feel like you've been trying to make a choice between one of two things, one of two courses of action. You haven't been sure up until now, but I think now you're in a position where you're ready to, set your sights and move forward. And it's 2:22 on the clock when I said that. So this very well could have something to do with some kind of partnership, partnering with somebody. This could be partnering on a romantic level. It could be partnering on a business level. So we'll dive into this. We'll see what this is all about. I do want to say, though, that when we're looking at the great black conjunction, what we're really looking at is the shadowy stuff, the stuff that's been swept under the carpet, that's now being kind of stirred up. It's coming to the surface. And we just entered Sagittarius season today, okay? So I don't know, maybe you're dealing with a Sagittarius for that to come in. But with this Sagittarius season, we're getting ready for that stellium Sagittarius new moon to come in on the 23rd. That's really going to light everything up. And once that spotlight takes center stage, you're definitely going to be aware of things that you weren't aware of before. You're also going to be able to see the next step that needs to be taken very clearly. So I see this action that you're going to take, some kind of empowered move forward that you came to from spending time, to yourself, sort of doing some soul searching. I think you're going to be ready to, wield that wand like the Magician and really move forward as you have had illuminated for you. Let's have a look at these cards. It's interesting because, all right, this is kind of a spicy message coming in here. Oh, all right. Now, you're going to have to pick what side you're on with this, all right? The things can get flip-flopped, okay? So this could be somebody that you're dealing with, and it's just having a very potent effect on you. Or it could be you, okay? But I see that there's a tower that's going to, oops. Oh, that just flew out of my hand down to the ground. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, my God. All right, well, that really changes things and makes things very clear. All right, so I think that you've been in this place where you've had your sights set on something. I think you've been more in deliberation about how to get there, how to move forward with this thing. I think you've been spending some time to yourself, Taurus, just kind of figuring out what your next move should be. And when you did get very clear about this action you needed to take, it was just a matter of timing. You've been sitting here waiting for the right timing. I do believe that this has something to do with working with someone for that partnership energy to come in. Now, at this point, with what we got on the board, it looks more like it's related to finances, like there's some money piece involved with this working with another person. I say that because we have the Eight of Pentacles coming up here, okay? And this is something you've been building on, maybe planning with another person. You've been putting some energy into this, but we see that there's some foul play here, man, okay, with the Seven of Swords coming in with the Tower, right? So this is never a good thing. This is finding out that somebody's been working against you, all right? That's what we got here. When we're looking at that Eight of Pentacles with the Seven of Swords to the Tower, this is getting a big wake-up call, and realizing that somebody has been working against you. And in fact, they've actually gotten away with it. Or you've been working against somebody else. And may have thought you've gotten away with it. Pick what side you're on, okay? It can work both ways, certainly. And sometimes it can be a little of both, you know, especially if you thought you were on the same page with somebody, you were working together, they actually were working against you, and yet you thought you were working them. You know, there's almost this kind of like convoluted energy in the mix. But what was a trip is this card was initially upright, the Three of Wands, which is about the ships coming in, but you saw this card fly out of my hand, and when I picked it up, it was in reverse. So I think that there's something that you're counting on, you know, there's something you've been waiting for, you've been counting on it coming in for you, and it's in relation to another person, somebody you've been working with. I feel like you've been working with this person behind the scenes. I feel like this is something that hasn't been like up front. I feel more like this is sort of like, you know, two people kind of communicating away from prying eyes kind of energy. Like there's something that was sort of secretive about this. Could be you've been messaging somebody privately. Maybe you've been making some plans together for a new direction forward. I feel like that's about to get uprooted. You're about to realize that there has been sort of some subterfuge in this situation. I think somebody's about to switch it up and reverse it on you. You know, it's like, Uno. That's what I'm getting. You may be pulling this on somebody else too, but you know, for that Three of Wands to fly out and go into reverse, I would definitely say that it's more like you being taken by surprise. For a Tower to come in, that always is something shocking, something unexpected. And for the Tower to be paired with the Seven of Swords, a lot of times this can be looked at like this is just karmic cleanup. You know, there's something that needs to be addressed here. Somebody moved forward in a way, or was working with somebody in a way that was unethical. There was something about the situation that was not in alignment with, you know, not in alignment with the higher plan. Let's just say that, you know, not in alignment with the way you move when you're really centered in yourself and you're moving from an empowered place. So there's either, you know, you got somebody who's been working you like this, or you've been working somebody else, or you both been working each other. I don't know, but there's, it could be two people teaming up with each other too to kind of work against one. But I feel like this is backfire energy here. This is boomerang energy. And I have to bring it in just in relation to this, because what we had come out here was the Magician with the Hanged Man. Somebody is having their actions weighed in the balance is what I'm getting here. And there is a bit of kind of a karmic judgment coming through in this situation. Now, when we're looking at the Magician, we're looking at taking initiative, right? So it can be, you know, you thought you were really solid in the way you were going to move forward with this person, but then there's some kind of ending that takes place. This ending may look really negative on the surface, but it brings an opportunity to sort of build from a new place and maybe in a new direction that you didn't really see the value in before, but maybe after going through this experience, you'll change your mind. There's kind of this energy there. There's also the piece here, I have to bring it in with the Magician, and especially for the Magician to come out twice and in relation to the Seven of Swords, to the Eight of Pentacles. With that Three of Wands going in reverse to the Tower. This could also be if you've been doing any kind of workings like manipulative sort of magic, if you've been doing anything to thwart somebody else, if you've been using your alchemy in that way rather than using your alchemy to refine yourself, to grow, to move out of that shadow stuff, and instead you've been trying to block somebody else's forward motion, you're going to find that you're actually the one that's going to get held up here, you know? Things come back around the bend, okay? So this is coming up pretty strong. Let's see the bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, we got a lot of dualistic energy working here, okay? This is pretty juicy what's coming up on the bottom of the deck here. Wow. Okay, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. Ooh. Okay, we're following it through. Now, you have to understand that when we're looking at this great black conjunction, we're looking at shadow aspects that have not been addressed yet, okay? And we already had one great black conjunction in this 2-week cycle that we're looking into here that came up on the 16th. We got one more coming in on the 30th, all right, that will close up this great black conjunction cycle we've been in, which is when we're looking at the elliptical orbit of the sun and the moon and their void points being in alignment is what we're talking about when we're looking at that great black conjunction. And it's a time when what is hidden starts to come to the surface. It's also a time when we have greater access to spiritual communications, spiritual guidance, when our psychic awareness is heightened, when our intuition is at the forefront, when we're able to kind of feel things out better than we were before. We're able to kind of get vision that allows us to see in the dark and find our way through. So there's this enlightening process that's happening, but it's happening internally. And I feel like this is really, look at that, the sun and the moon coming up, great black conjunction, okay? What this is revealing to you is something about a romantic relationship and a wish that you have had around this relationship, okay? We see that with the Two of Cups coming into the Nine of Cups, all right? And we see you very much in this Empress energy, okay? You know your worth, you know your value, you know what you deserve. You're wanting to create abundance in your life. You're in a place where you really feel like you're in your element. I feel like you've been doing a lot of healing work, okay, with this Three of Cups. But in relation to this Two of Cups here, and with all this kind of hidden element coming forward, for the Three of Cups to come in, this seems like this might be what's illuminated, this third party influence. Or perhaps there's somebody that you've been talking to and you're already in a relationship and they're a third party element. Now we see that there's some kind of new beginning that comes forward, and likely in the spring, okay, with the Ace of Pentacles there. That is a timing card. And it's some tangible new beginning. It's some tangible offer, right? This is what's being hoped for. This is the wish, the hope to be able to go in a new direction, set out on a new adventure, the start of a brand new cycle with the Fool, okay? But there's something about this offer that doesn't match up to the desire and what was wished for with the Four of Cups. There's a sense of disappointment here. And I believe this disappointment, and this is what's going to be illuminated with that tower that's going to come in is that there's some kind of third party dynamic. Now, I want to talk about third party dynamic because third party dynamic is not always that somebody's got another lover. I mean, it absolutely can be, you know, the side piece and finding out that you're not the only one in this connection. But it can also be any third party element that's acting in a divisory role within that relationship. So it could be an addiction, okay? It could be a meddling friend or a meddling family member. It could be that something has been kept hidden, something has been held back. There's been some kind of truth that hasn't been revealed, that if you knew this truth, you would have a very different idea about how you wanted to move forward in this situation. You know, we see that you've been wanting cooperation in moving forward in this matter, but there's something here. We see somebody's been giving to two, and with this particular deck for this to come in, these two are on their knees. So there's somebody who feels like they hold some power here, right? And they're giving to these two people, but these two people are in a almost like subservient position. So there's something very unfair here. Now in business, this may be that somebody's been brought into the mix that maybe is an investor. There's somebody who is giving financial backing to something you want to get off the ground. But there's some kind of agreement that's being made that puts you in a subservient position. You might want to have a think on this, a little deeper of a think on this if you're looking to get into business partnership of some sort. Maybe you've recently made a decision that, okay, I'm just going to go for it because I need this financial backing. Be careful. Like, yeah, it may get you started down the road you want to get in, but you'll very quickly stall out, okay? You'll very quickly stall out when you realize that you're actually put in a subservient position. It's not really in your best interest. In terms of romance, I feel like this is somebody's working with more than one person, or there's another person involved in the mix, and it makes things complicated, and it actually keeps you kind of in a position of not really embodying that Empress energy. If you think about it, the Empress doesn't ever find themselves in a competitive sort of role. I feel like there's some kind of need to bring closure to this cycle if you hope to have success, whether you're looking at that romantically or you're looking at that on a business financial level. Potentially, there could be some kind of legalities involved in this situation. That would be the case if you're looking at any kind of contractual agreements. And certainly this can also be in relation to issues of marriage. You know, I see right behind this, we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is about setting up a happy home with somebody. It's about building financially with another person. Maybe the third party element, this is just coming in. I don't know where this is coming from, but maybe there's somebody that you've been with for a long time. Y'all have been talking about marriage. You've been talking about moving forward in this way. And then this person kind of throws you a curveball and they say, okay, I'm down for getting married. I'm down for getting committed, but I want a prenuptial agreement. And maybe this is something that sort of throws you for a loop. Maybe it's something that also brings something forward for you to look at, you know, shadow aspect, like, why am I in this relationship? Am I just in this relationship for stability? Or do I really feel connected to this person? I think it's going to make you realize how much you had been focused on the security in this connection. And that's going to illuminate something for you that's kind of a lot to look at, okay? But I do feel like this is important stuff that's coming forward in this particular cycle with this Black Moon conjunction. It's illuminating for us the ways that we sabotage ourselves, the ways that we hold ourselves back from truly being fulfilled and having what we desire, all right? Now, in relation with this 10 of Pentacles coming in with that King of Swords, you could be dealing with an air sign energy as well. Okay, so that would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Also, there's a need to make some kind of very definitive decision here. And that decision can't come from a place of being overly emotional. You really have to engage your logic. There's this need to look at things from a very facts-oriented standpoint, not the fantasy, not looking at things through rose-colored glasses or how you wish they would be, but what's actually going on. I think you've really invested a lot of energy in this situation, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of work. I really feel like there's a strong monetary piece that's coming up here. For a lot of you, this could be related to finances, but we know with that Two of Cups on the board, there's also a relationship piece in the mainframe here as well, okay? In both cases, in the case of your work, your finances, you've invested a lot of time and energy, and you're sort of weighing it out. Like, am I seeing the kind of growth I wanted to see? I think you might be having some doubts about this, okay? You might have some doubts if you're really investing your energy in the right direction when it comes to your financial growth and your business aims. I think you're starting to rethink this a bit. You're trying to make a decision about which way you should go with this. In terms of your relationship, I think you've been waiting for your relationship to level up. Like, you're like, okay, we've had all this growth in this relationship. I've been giving a lot of my time and energy. And we have to look at that Taurus North Node, because that is your sign, okay? And it's all about the collective stepping into that destiny of the Taurus North Node right now, which is all about what we value, our sense of self-worth, what we're investing our time and energy in. I think this has been very front and center for you, okay? So in terms of relationship, I think you're really feeling like, do I feel valued in this relationship? Do I feel like I am being seen as that empress or emperor, whichever archetype you relate to, okay? But you're really like sitting with that energy. Like, do I feel like I'm being met in this place? And am I getting out of this what I've put into it? You're trying to make up your mind. But I'm telling you, there's something that's going to be exposed here about a third party element. And you might have been doing a little research yourself. I think you've been maybe snooping around a little bit. I think you may have been kind of talking to some people behind the scenes, like trying to get the inside scoop. We see that with the Page of Swords. Again, air sign energy, okay? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could factor strongly in here. And this does have to do with communication. So I feel like you've been trying to get the inside scoop. Maybe you've been trying to get the inside scoop about an air sign. Maybe you've been talking to an air sign behind the scenes. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody with an air sign placement, but this does show you like having behind the scenes communication, something that's hidden, something that's not, above board, and trying to gain an advantage because initially you were planning on taking some kind of daring action that was sort of moving you outside the box, but there's something that you can't see here with the High Priestess, and that's what's going to come to light. It's going to turn the light on in a room, and you're going to see what you weren't able to see before. There's something about this that gives you a lot of worry, a lot of stress, and a lot of anxiety with the Nine of Swords, okay? And attached to this, we got Devil energy. There's something here that needs to be transformed. One way or another, there's a tower that's coming through, okay? And it's to illuminate something where there was foul play, all right? We know that. The Seven of Swords to the tower, that is some shady shit. There's no other way to look at that. You cannot make that, look any better. There's no positive spin to put on that, okay? There just isn't. There's no positive spin to put on it. It's like you can put lipstick on a pig and still fucking pig, all right? That's what that is right there. Somebody is greedy in this situation. And with all the pentacles that have been on the board, I think somebody is financially greedy in this situation. There's some element out of this situation that's not in alignment at all, and it needs to be exposed. And there is some kind of third party influence that is creating this disruption, all right? Something's coming to an end here with this Ten of Swords, all right? Now, the Ten of Swords, the one thing that's kind of the saving grace is it don't get any worse than this. This is seeing the worst of it, recognizing that something is over, recognizing it's time to move on from something and move into a new cycle. And I think it's really time to move away from the things in your life that are not supporting you. If you're feeling confused, and if you're feeling restricted, and if you're feeling like you're kind of just trapped in a situation, that's not anything you want to continue to invest your energy in. Better to bring this to an end. And again, you know, this has something to do with somebody you've been working with, okay? Somebody you've been working with. You got to protect your security here. It's really important with the Four of Pentacles, right? So there's something about this money piece that really needs to be looked at. Balance needs to be brought into this situation with the Temperance, okay? Now, I did bring up Sagittarius before, and Temperance is a Sagittarius card, right? We are moving in to Sagittarius season. Today is the first day of Sagittarius season, all right? So there's really a need to do some balancing here. And for those who have done workings, all right, where you did hex work or you did something to try to manipulate a situation and you know you moved out of pocket, you better get on those spiritual baths. You better do some cleansing baths, all right? You need to do some cleansing work. You need to do some release work. I did pick this deck, and it's interesting because this deck, just with the card stock, this deck got bent really early on in its use, and it's a very difficult deck to shuffle, but today it was particularly having a hard time coming together, and I instantly had the hit. There's some kind of stubbornness involved in your situation where it's like an unwillingness to look at things as they are, like being so set and stuck in your position that you're not able to see it any other way. And this is actually what's creating all kinds of blockage in your life and preventing you from moving forward. We see very clearly what needs to happen here, a death. There needs to be an ending brought to this cycle. The ending brings a growth in a new direction, okay? It's going to take you a lot of strength to let this go, but this is you stepping into that Empress energy and triumphing over lessons of the past, okay? Could have a Leo strongly factored into your situation as well. We do have, you know, fire sign energy front and center in the mix. We're looking at something advancing towards you. This might be coming on the scene pretty soon because this is pretty impetuous movement, all right? This is think now, not think now, act now, think later kind of energy. It's often, you know, somebody who wants to hook up, okay? Could be fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, somebody coming forward to you with passion and purpose. We see that you got your guard up here with the Nine of Wands, all right? You've been through a lot with this person, 27 on the clock. When I said that, that's 9, 18, 9, triple 9 energy. It means Spirit's guiding you to bring this shit to a closure. So with those spiritual baths, I don't know if you need to wash that man or wash that woman right out of your hair being connected to this in some way. I don't know. Maybe you need to get a haircut, cut off this energy, do something different with your hair, do hair rinses with rosemary, you know, something to kind of cleanse your crown chakra. Like, I feel like this person is all corded into you on a mental level. It has you going in these loops in your consciousness where you feel confused all the time. You don't know what to think about this person. You know, definitely see you guarded here, and I think for good reason. And there's that Ace of Wands that I saw in your pre-shuffle about thinking, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to move forward with this. But with this Ace of Wands coming up with this Knight of Wands, if you're looking for a serious commitment with this person who's approaching you, you better think twice, because this person is just out for a good time. They want to give you the wand, or they want to get your wand, okay? But that's about it. There's a lot of illusion being spun here with this Seven of Cups energy. You know, be smart in your choices, because you can have a lot of options, but not all options are good for you, okay? Some of those cups are filled with poison. Some of those cups will just keep you in a state of confusion and illusion. There's only one cup with that wreath in it that offers that successful completion of the cycle with the world, you know, the victory that's on the other side of that, of overcoming the lessons of the past. And this right here is the truth, okay, with the Ace of Swords. So be decisive, okay? Use good sound judgment. If it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, if it acts like a duck, fuck a duck, man. You don't need that. Because this offer here is really fishy with the Page of Cups, okay? There's something about this offer you can't trust, all right? And it is just a page, all right? This ain't no king energy. And if you go with this offer, it's going to leave you broke and out in the cold. So be mindful. Don't forget what you've already learned.